Okay, so it is working. Anyway, good afternoon, folks. East of Eden grower Creedmoor here, coming to you from a main Eden garden here in Piedmont, North Carolina. It's not a great day, but we are living, so I guess that makes it kind of a great day anyway. But there's a lot of overcast. The temperature is kind of a little bit humid, but cool. Um, since the soil temperatures are appropriate to do so, I'm going to go ahead and scratch in some, well, some lettuce. I want to grow a little bit of lettuce. I've got a few lettuce seeds left over. Some of our lettuce took a hit from the cold. Some of our lettuce survived. Some of it got eaten. Some of it was wonderful. Y'all know how it goes. In any event, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I've got a row of garlic over here that I've been kind of growing along, and it's been doing fine through the snow, through the thick, through the thin, through everything. I'm going to scratch out a little area with my rake. I'll turn the camera on so y'all can see it. Bring it down to where I've got some relatively vital soil. I've got some broken down wood chips and good looking soil down there below. And I'm just going to sprinkle some carrot seeds and give them a little cover with some pre-vetted soil that I have in a container over there. And I'm going to show you how easy it is in a garden that's really, really mature like this one here. Anyone who's just starting out, you're probably not going to have the level of humus that I have down below. You won't have that broken down composty, rich, loamy soil. But you will be well on your way to doing so if you continue to ask the ground to grow for you. Ask your cover to grow for you. Ask the sun to shine on your plants. Ask the rain to water on those seeds. And outside of that, it's pretty much all we need to do. But I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to go over here very, kind of haphazardly. It doesn't need to be super specific. Y'all who've grown lettuce before know they like to grow in heads or clusters. And I'm just going to drop a couple of seeds, maybe 2 seeds, in an area where I think the soil is viable within the trench that I'm about to make. And when they grow up, as they get a little bit bigger, I'll be tucking them in. Y'all won't see that in this video. But you will see me scrape it out. You'll see me with my little seed dispenser. They've all been kind of sitting in my hand for a while while they're warm. Each seed will touch my hand before it goes in the ground. It's something Creedmoor likes to do. I like to touch the seed and then drop the seed. I don't know, in my mind, it feels like I am the catalyst for growth. Maybe I'm not. I'm just a contributor. But in any event, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. Y'all can already see the gray skies above. I got one more video to shoot, so I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can, and then I'm going to get to that video and see what we can do. Okay? Okay, so there you have it. There is the view of my little garlic row right there. They're doing really, really well. And if I don't hurry up, we're going to get rained on. But I'm just going to step over here and grab my rake. And I want this row of lettuce to be near this row of garlic, because I want the hyphae that's growing in the ground, rhizomes that I pre-planted and inoculated the soil with. I want those rhizomes to start to take care and complement the seeds that I put in the ground. And what y'all can't see right now is this is about a 10-foot long trench that I'm making. Not gone very far down in, and I'm already seeing the hyphae. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick you up and show you. Y'all ready to go for a ride? Here we go. So I'm kind of hoping that the little white hyphae that's right here is clear. It should be. It's also clear that it's starting to rain, so I'm going to move really quick. But anyway, y'all can see the trench is formed. It's not really deep enough. I'm going to go deeper. I am working to keep the hilled up material up on the top side of the garden because I want it to protect any bit of deluging that could occur as it begins to rain a little bit more heavily. So we're going to hang out over here by this little baby Brussels sprout. It's been toughing it out. I go a little further. I want to get down into the richer soil below. Even if I do break up the hyphae, that's of very little concern to me. Now that I'm scratching past about the 2-inch mark, I'm starting to see the richer soil below, or what I'm commonly referring to as the humus layer. And what I'm going to do is basically soften up the soil by using a smaller rake, and then I'm going to drop the seeds in. And then with some of that soft soil, I'll cover those seeds. But because it's lettuce I'm planting, the lettuce is not going to be planted very deep. It'll be kind of a shallow planting. Typically lettuce doesn't like to be super buried. At least not as far as for germination goes. So I'm aware of that. And that's what we're going to do. I've been careful here to make sure that the trench is as long as my row of garlic, because I know there are some arbustial mycorrhizal rhizomes that are down there complementing the growth of that garlic. The garlic has been growing for several months, therefore it has some symbiotic activity down below. Y'all can see plenty of hyphae here, and I want them to be close enough so that they can help each other out, help each other to extend that which it takes to make growth happen in good fashion. So now I'm going to bring you back and show you the darker soils. The darker soils down below. There's still some hyphae, but you can see it's much darker and much finer. And it's raining more. It's just Creedmoors luck. But anyway, I'll grab a little bit with my fingers, and you can see the constitution of this is much finer. And that right there is all it takes to grow lettuce. Will I need to feed the soil ahead of time? No! The soil food web is going to feed this plant. Later on, if it looks like the leaves are a little bit yellow, if they come in that way, and they so desire something else, I'll go ahead and I'll feed them some compost tea, which is going to bring me towards the next video. But you new growers, stay watching, okay? Y'all can see Creedmoors' greenhouse back there. There's hoop houses and everything else. We always, always, always grow here. We never stop asking the man upstairs or Mother Nature to provide for us. Because in my mind, the best thing that you can do in your garden is grow food. Okay, I'm gonna give a little tilt down. I'm gonna do a quick little pause. Okay, so as an insert to all this, I'm going to take a second to show y'all something else. I love it when we put little bonus features in our videos. I think we had mushrooms in this at some point. Those of y'all who plant bulbs are familiar with this. I like to use this to take soil samples, folks. It takes the perfect amount of soil for a sample. And that's going to be one of the things that we're going to be offering to other growers this year is, well, you can take a look at your soil and see what's alive in it. Sorry about that. We are kind of close to a road. But anyway, mini rake, I like to use these to sort of dice up the media and to give myself something soft to place over the top of a seed. But I want to show you how we take a soil sample. I've dug down to the humus layer, and I simply insert the bulb planter and take a bit of it out and shake it off. And y'all, if I can do this right, that's what we want to sample, because this is the living part of your soil. It's what everything grows in, folks. It grows in this. It grows really well in this, as a matter of fact. I'm not taking the soil sample for testing right now because we've already done quite a bit of testing, but I just want to show you all how to do it. And then this right here gets hydrated with base neutral water. I like to use distilled water, and it's allowed to sit that way so that I can strain off just the liquids, and then sometimes I'll pull out some of the solids for a sample. I want to see what kind of humic solids you have. I want to see the biology. I want to see everything else. In any event, I can see there's plenty of biology in here. I did manage to take a little bit of hyphae, but we're not using it for that, folks. Here's what we're doing today, okay? We're planting. We're going to ask the soil to grow for us. I'm going to put this back because I don't need it. It's that simple. I'm going to use this to scrape up a little bit, and every 12 inches or so, I'm going to put a pair of seeds. I really don't want them any closer than that because, well, lettuce grows really big here. So a little scrape, a little ask, we're loosening up just a little bit. I'm going to take this rock, I have no idea how it got in here, and throw it away. some strands of hyphae. I don't know if that's going to come in clear. Come on, camera. I don't think it's going to be clear. I think I turned autofocus off because I use the camera for some biology work too. It's okay. Y'all can take my word for it. Anyway, so there we have it. I'm going to simply rotate this to a large enough setting so that I can get a few seeds into my hand. The seeds are really small, so I'm going to try maybe like a 4 or so. I just want to get a few into the palm. And since it's raining, it turns out this is a pretty good time to do this. Hope y'all can understand that it isn't always bright and sunny in Creedmoor land. Okay, so they've touched my hand. They're in my hand. I've got some locations right here. Maybe I can get on the other side and stand with my garlic and show y'all. 1 foot in between. I'm just going to drop a couple seeds. It does not take a lot of seeds to do this. When your soil is really fertile, these things just grow. They really do. They just grow. So I'm holding the seed in my right hand. Creedmoor's left-handed. I'm just grabbing a few of them, spacing out, kind of eyeing up what 1 foot is. You know, we've done this with our planting rods, and they have some equally spaced marks on them, and we'll use that. But in this case, this stuff is so easy to do, folks. Really. If you're new to the Eden method, subscribe to my channel, follow me, accept notifications, you know, let me send some of this information. Let me show you what's going on, what's working, what's not. I'm putting about 3 or 4 seeds in each area, and it really is not that important that I cover anything up, because as it rains, the rain is going to put some soil right on top of what I'm growing. I see some worms in here too. I'm sorry, I don't have a camera person to show you all that today, but I'm pretty sure if you've dug around in your Eden soil, you've seen plenty of worms. And I think I can get maybe 1 or 2 more in this space. I've got just enough seeds to do so. I want to say another thing, that just doing this like Johnny Appleseed, haphazardly spreading your seeds, it works fine. I really don't like culling out because I don't like to kill anything, including the plants. I'm kind of silly like that. But I can tell you this, folks, this is just so ridiculously easy. Okay? It's so easy. Next step, I'm going to go ahead and grab a small pail with the soil that is from the garden that's been removed previously to make up other little pots and planters so that I can pre-seed outside of the garden in, well, the warmth of the greenhouses. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a pail of that and show you all what it looks like. Okay, we're back again. So I'm hoping that you can see this. I really wish I could do a better job of filming for y'all. So this is it. This has been taken out of the soil below my feet. This is what I refer to as Eden fines. The vast majority of it is humus, and it's very, very fine. Much of Paul's garden is just this stuff right here. Okay, so y'all saw me scrape away the top cover. Y'all saw me dice it up just a little bit, just so I have some softened media that's not clumpy. And y'all see me drop some lettuce seeds in there, okay? It's really all I need to drop. I'll have another chance to plant another row of lettuce after this. But now I'm just going to put some of this on as cover. Pretty much the whole way down. I'm just going to sprinkle it on there. It's super, super easy. Garlic. So wherever I've got a plant, I'm just going to cover it with a little bit of this. Also, going from bucket to hand to ground. I can tell you a little bit about my soil as I'm doing this. This soil has, in fact, in the bucket, has in fact been pH modified. It has a small amount of elemental sulfur introduced to it. It has a little bit of peat, not a whole lot. We don't really need to use as much peat as a supplement. And basically, that allows me the ability to include sulfur, which is a very important mineral or nutrient, you should say, for your plants. Those plants that are without enough sulfur tend to grow poorly. It's not necessarily about acidity or pH, because pretty much everything I grow here is very, very amenable to growing in the very neutral soils that we have developed here over the years. And when I'm done with this sprinkling, sprinkling of the cover, okay, this is my layer of cover, composted remains of plants and trees from the past. There is probably a small amount of time release fertilizer in this. I do like to do that. And I haven't done anything since this soil blend was made last year. So nothing's been added this year. And there you have it, folks. The highest point of the garden is that way towards the building. Rain infiltrates the chips. They're hydrophilic, so they're taking moisture into them, and then that moisture is paid back out to the soils around as time goes by. So the system is perfect. It's beautiful. It's very permaculture-like. It's very easy to clean up after yourself. It's very easy to see when things are working. Look at how simple that was, folks. We're just going to take all of our stuff. Nothing has been sterilized or sanitized. It does not need to be, and I don't suggest doing that. I don't like to grow food in sterile soil. I like to grow food in... Food should be grown in living soil. Okay? So now we've gone over how to take a soil sample. So when Creedmoors says, hey, I'm doing soil sampling, send me some soil. Now y'all know how to do it. Put it in a bag, stick it in an envelope, send it to me. I'll upload it online, and y'all will be able to see what's alive in your soil. No need to go out and buy an expensive microscope or expensive slides or anything else to do this stuff, because someone else is already going to do it for you. And when we get to that, I think it's going to be pretty cool. So there you have it. I don't even need to water it, because the man upstairs and Mother Nature have already saw fit to provide the water for me. I can sort of pull down my cap, pat myself on the shoulder for planting some lettuce. I love lettuce. I love the igloo types. I love all of them. Who am I trying to kid? This is how it goes, folks. So you got a couple of little some different tutorials within the video, some including how we take a soil sample, including how we plant. How do we plant in a mature Eden bed? Well, you saw how we do that. You got to see the hyphae rich soils, the fungal rich soils, and the next step will be to see how we balance that out with bacteria and things like that. So be sure to take a look at any and all of the tea videos that we've made. The one that's already up online is all about doing it if you don't have compost, but I'm going to show you all how to do it when we do have compost, because, well, I'm standing on a pile of compost. So anybody that grows the Eden way that tells me they don't have compost, they're not really thinking it all the way through. Everything below my feet is compost, okay? Yes, it's made primarily of green manure and chicken manure and some other amends that I've been able to learn that the plants seem to appreciate over the years. But on the whole, folks, most of its constitution is just wood chips. Every kind of wood chip, all kinds of wood chips. It doesn't matter what kind of wood chip it is. Cedar, walnut, pine, aspen, poplar, maple, oak. It all breaks down in the end. Paul has said this over and over and over again, yet people don't seem to understand it. That mycelia saw, that mycelia breaks it down. Hyphae, the white strands, it breaks it down. White rot fungus, it's a fantastic fungus to have because it metabolizes bad mojo. And I can just about guarantee most folks are going to end up with a little bit of bad mojo in their garden. They may end up with a little fusarium. They may end up with some other types of fungals that are not necessarily in perfect balance yet, but you go through that as part of the journey. And as you introduce more beneficial organisms to the soil structure, it balances itself out. I'm at the point now where I don't necessarily even believe that there's such a thing as a negative organism. Even in my biology testing, I can see bacteria that is both aerobic and anaerobic, and each one of them has their own job and their own task. All of them are contributing. So stick around, like, subscribe, chat with me, talk to me, tell me about what you got going on. I love to hear about it. I love doing this stuff. folks. If you haven't figured that out by now, it's real. And that's about it. That wraps it all up. Next video is on its way. I'll be heading down to the pond, working on the pond water compost tea generation. It's going to be a good one.